Hello everyone, this is Damaris from Paper is Fabric, and I'm sharing with you my second dress form that I've created for the swap being hosted by Lisa of Scrapin2010. She had asked if I would create for two separate groups, and this is my second submission. If some of you recall that may have viewed what I've created, this is what I submitted for my first group, or for one of the groups. I don't know which one it's going to be for, but anyway, anyway, I'm sharing with you what I've created for the second one, and this form was cut using Capri Sun packaging, and I used the Tim Holtz, I think it's sewing room die, that I cut for it. What you see here, the cover of the dress form, is actually this. It's a napkin. I found these napkins at Tuesday morning, and I just happened to see them and thought, might work. So I used it. I took the napkin and I separated the layers, and like you do here, I separated the layers, and I used this to cover over the cardboard. And once I covered it, I decided that you know, I wanted to seal it, but I didn't want it to have a shiny look, so I used the matte accents from Ink Essentials, same people that make the glossy accents. I bought maybe like 3 or 4 of those things from Tuesday morning last year actually, and the first time I used it I wasn't really happy with it, but this time it did what I wanted it to do, because I was trying to keep the integrity of and the feel of the napkin, where the napkin is like a matte finish, you know, it's not shiny, and I didn't want this to be shiny either. So anyway, I used that, and once that dried, I wanted to accentuate the roses, and I tried to make sure that I had a rose on the shoulder and on the hip. So I have some of the cheaper glitter glues, and I had this one here, which was a richer pink. So, and I wanted to accentuate the dark areas of the flowers, and this worked perfectly for that, even though it doesn't work as well as stickles. But I don't have any stickles in that color. And then after I did it with colored that with that other glue, I used some of the Stardust stickles to go over it before it was completely dry, and I blended it in together. What I then did was I painted the base of the dress form, and I used this paint that I believe I got from Joann's or AC Moore, I don't know, one of them, and it's like a very dark brown. I used to use it for when I made my dolls, and that's how old it is, but it's still good. So anyway, I colored that in, and then because it was just so flat, I actually used some of this here, the metallic paint that I got either from Michael's, or not Michael's, Walmart or Hobby Lobby, and I kind of dry brushed it in the area here. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but I kind of dry brushed that look right in there. And but as it dried, it just still kind of looked flat. So what I did was I used these Distress inks, the ones by Distress Stickles, and I used Vintage Photo, and not Vintage Photo, that's wrong. I used Walnut Stain and Frayed Burlap, and I kind of like blobbed it, just kind of blobbed it with my finger on top, not trying to smooth it out, and then I let it dry. And once I let that dry, then I used some of the Distress Crackle paint in Rock Candy, and I brushed that on top here, and as it began to dry, I used the heat gun, and the heat gun in turn caused it to crack like this, and I love the way that came out. That was like really cool. Alright, so now I needed to put something on it, and as Lisa's, part of Lisa's criteria, you gotta use a button. So I'm thinking, I know I want to put something like a little tutu. I know I want to put a flower. Okay, what kind of button am I going to use? I have no button that'll work with that. What was I thinking when I used this paper? I'm saying to myself, right? Because I did use some of the same effect with this here tool, and I stitched it, did a running stitch through the top and pulled it and gathered it. But unlike the other one that came out like a dress, this one came out looking like a fan. And I thought, okay, I'll make it like a tutu, and I'll do 2 rows and put on. And I was going to lay it across, but when I laid it down and like dropped it on, it kind of fell just like this, sideways. And I thought, oh, I like that, and that'll work nice with a flower. Okay, so I was going to use the Recollection flower, and you see these have leaves and all, and I thought I could do that, but then where the heck am I going to put a button, and what kind of button? So then I thought, well, you know, it would be great if I had a leaf button. So I go to my trusty, you know, buttons, tiny little odd end buttons, and what do I find? I find 2 leaf buttons. Well, I'll need at least 3. I mean, one of these tags is for me, so I could do without the leaf. But for the ladies, I would have to have a leaf. So I'm thinking, how am I going to do this? I need to put something up there. So I look further, and I've come across this. I have in that little bin, and I can't get it in my hand now, I have in that bin 5 of these 5 of these buttons. So my thought to like, you know what? I could probably use that as a leaf. So that's what I did. I took it and I put the button down on the side. And then I ran a bead, and I was able to use the this stuff, the matte accents, to put the button down. But it didn't work for the tool. I mean, it might have if I had the time and the patience to sit there and hold it and wait, but I didn't. So I used my glue gun, and I ran a bead of glue right across, stuck down the little tool thing, and then I put a dollop of glue and put down the flower. But okay, and this is the flower. But before I did the flower, I used my this thing, the distress tool, and I just kind of pounced on it. It got walnut stain, so I pounced on it, and what it did was it gave me the, not highlights, but the distressed look on the flower. And then after I had glued the flower down, I went back and put some of the Stardust stickles on it. And I had previously, which I forgot to mention, I had put stickles around the skirt, and I used both the Stardust and my favorite, the champagne color stickles. Okay, so then I did that, and after it was all said and done, I mean, I think it kind of looks cool like that. It looks like a little leaf, takes the place of the leaf anyway. And I did what I was supposed to do. I put a button up there. So, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking it's got a little bit of shine going on, but I think it needs a little bit more. Now, I had initially distressed the edges with the walnut stain, and that was cool, but I wanted a little bit more shimmer. So what I did was I took my Love, the champagne stickles, and I went around just the dress area. I didn't go along the legs or along the form, but just that. And you know, just to share with you again, the way that I did this here, oh, it feels like it's it feels like it could be wood, or you know, instead of just cardboard, it feels like something else. I like it. I really like the way it came out. A lot of times I don't think what I'm doing is right. I'm not really that satisfied with what I've done, but this time I kind of like what I got. So in any event, I just want to say to you guys that, you know, I wanted to tell you thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. Please continue to comment. I love that you even take time to look at what I do and to care enough to even make a comment. And when you say what you say, it is encouraging and uplifting, and I so love it. And I am going to get back or get around to answering your comments. You can comment, leave questions, whatever. I'm rambling, sorry, it's late. But so I guess I should just I guess I should just say bye-bye and tell you thank you again. Bye-bye.